Ladies and gentlemen of the YouTube world, what is poppin', locking, and what is dropping, baby? Welcome back to the channel, the journey, the video, yada yada yada. Got a special one for you. Ladies and gentlemen of the YouTube world, welcome to the breakfast portion of this video. Someone just realized too, I forgot to make the pan view of the whole grocery items. So when I was putting them away, I was like, oh, sugar, get it? Sugar. I don't know how this is gonna turn out. So at least thumbnail wise and yada yada yada. So we'll figure that out later on. But more importantly, we should go ahead and get started with the recipe. We are making one of Pete's recipes on a video that I will link below. And he called it like a pancake, like a blueberry pancake bowl or something. I don't know. Recreate it, but add a couple things to kind of make it my version too. First ingredient, very important, pancake mix. This is specifically gluten-free, but Kodak has protein pancake mix. I believe it's 7 grams of protein for this specific one because we're going to be using a half a cup of this. So we're going to be making 6 servings. So we need 3 cups total. Second round on the chopping block, we got some egg whites. So I believe it asks for a half a cup of egg whites for this recipe. So again, we'll see how this comes out. So the third thing, I actually don't have it with me, but I'm going to get it once I put everything together. And that is low-fat or fat-free Greek yogurt, vanilla flavored. I forgot it at the store. I was remembering everything. Of course, I forgot the stupid Greek yogurt. Next ingredient on the list, we have frozen blueberries. Frozen just because they'll cook when you put everything together. Simple as that. Now, the next thing, this is where we're going to kind of change things up a bit. So I do have a tub of protein powder. This is marshmallow flavor. So we're making blueberry marshmallow cakes. Yum. So I've never tried this flavor before. Rise makes some really good protein powder too. So we'll see how this comes out. Loaded protein. How much is 25 grams of protein per scoop. I don't think we're gonna be doing an entire scoop though, because it may overpower the flapjack mix or pancake mix. So we'll probably be using like a half a scoop of this. And then last but not least, we have some sugar-free maple syrup. This is just original. I know there's like something Wegman Farms or whatever it's called. It's like 0 everything. So, but this was extremely cheap and it's 15 calories per serving. So shouldn't be that bad. What is a serving? 2 tablespoons. So all we're gonna need. But this is gonna be for a garnish. Let's get the prepping started, baby. All right, ladies and gentlemen of the YouTube world, this, according to his video, this should be pretty easy. You just kind of put everything in a bowl or a container and then mix it all about. So we're gonna go ahead and do that. All right, so the first thing it's calling off for is a half a cup of pancake mix. So with 6 servings, that should leave us with 3 cups in total. So we'll see how this goes. But I'm assuming we kind of, well, this entire bag is 2 cups. So go ahead and put that in there. Here for this one. I'm not much of a baker either. I don't know. Would you consider this baking? I have no idea. So it's about a cup. Alright, so we're gonna leave that off to the side. Clean up this garbage.
Get that garbage out of here!
Alright, next thing is half a cup of eggs. So this should be 4 cups total of what I looked it up. So half a cup of eggs, so it should be 3 cups of egg whites. for 6 servings. This is pretty much gone. All right, I don't think we need that anymore. 1/3 cup of Greek yogurt. So this is the Oikos 000. I don't know if I showed that because I forgot it before. I had to run to the store and get it. So 4 of these equal to 2 cups. So it's just what we need for the total servings. So we're gonna go ahead and plop that in there. And so for the filler, he recommended 1/4 cup of blueberries. So we're gonna do 1.5 cups. Just a rough estimate because blueberries are fine. So, okay, and then the rest will be for garnish. Was not in the his recipe, but I want to go ahead and add it because I think it would be pretty cool. So I'm gonna put a 1/4 cup of brown sugar. Should be easy to do this. About a quarter cup of brown sugar. This one is the Swerve Zero everything pretty much. So we're gonna see how this tastes. And then the last addition to this is the protein powder. We're gonna need, if I can get this stupid thing open. I was gonna do a 1/2 scoop per serving of protein powder, so 3 scoops total. So I'm gonna go clean up real quick, and then I'll come back. We'll start mixing everything together. All right, so we got all our ingredients in, and we're just gonna take a whisk and start mixing everything together. So I'm assuming we need like a cake-ish consistency. So we'll go ahead and kind of give this a whirl. And I think if it looks too thick, I may throw a little splash of water in there. So, but again, we're trying this out. I'm excited for it. We'll see how it turns out. Okay, so we have our containers out here. We're just gonna place them down like so. I was getting a little worried there. Now, typically, this is where you would put like a PAM or some kind of cooking spray to kind of prevent the sticking. Though, I'm just gonna eat it right out of the container, so it doesn't matter to me. So we're gonna take our mixture, take a scoop, and we're gonna put it in our bowl, and we're gonna do that one at a time until it gets evenly distributed throughout our pans. I'm making a mess. So, and then we'll kind of repeat that process. So when you're done, you have this, and then something you want to do is just kind of flatten, get them as flat as possible. And I'm assuming this is pancake mix. I mean, it is. So it's gonna rise when you bake it. And if you're curious about the weight, we'll go to grams. So one of these weighs 373 grams. So if you're curious about the weight, but you know, subtract maybe a couple grams just from the tin foil itself. The last thing we're gonna do is we're going to garnish our this breakfasts with some frozen blueberries. I mean, they're blueberries, so I'd say maybe like, that's a lot. Maybe like a quarter cup on top should suffice. I have it going right now for $3.75. Got these guys on a pan. So put them in here. Turn it like so, and then I just got like a single one left, so we're just gonna place it in there like so, just so it's easier to take out. And we're gonna let this guy bake. I don't have a specific time because he puts them in the air fryer for like 400 for like 15 minutes or something. So we're gonna slow cook these, and I'll come back with a time once I start checking on them, because I don't really know on top of my head, unfortunately. Ladies and gentlemen of the YouTube world, I figured I'd go ahead and show you how I specifically create a recipe in Cal-AI. What we're gonna do is we're gonna go to Save Foods, My Meals, and then we're gonna create one. So we're gonna give it a name. We're gonna call this Blueberry Marshmallow Breakfast Cake. And then we're gonna start adding stuff to it, right? So we're gonna go to the barcode. And then we're gonna find where the barcode is. Happens to be right here. It's gonna pick it up. At least try to. And then it lists everything on there. But you may want to check the box because it's not like 100% accurate. So we got, what is it? 230 calories, that's right. 7 grams of protein for, this is by the way a half a cup of serving. What we got? Carbs, 42, that's right. And then fat, we got 4 grams, that's right. Swipe over. Fiber, we have 5 grams, that's correct. Sugar, we got 5 grams, that's correct. And then sodium, we got 560 milligrams. So 5, that close enough. So you always want to check all of that. You can like go here and do that as well. So that's kind of how I do it. So I'm going to add the rest of this in, and then I'll get back with you guys once everything's complete. All right, ladies and gentlemen of the YouTube world, here's the grand total of everything. We have 509.4 calories with 41 grams of protein, 77 grams of carbs, 6 grams of fat, and then we have 122 grams of fiber.
Wait.
Whoa. I think I messed up something here. Hold on. When I put the monk fruit sugar thing in, it it said 122 grams of that. So I would have died. So 18 grams of fiber. There we go. A lot better. 15 grams of sugar and 1,286 milligrams of sodium. So pretty good for what it is. I know when he made it, I believe it was like 386 calories with like 40 something grams of protein. So technically this is not past the protein tests, but with all that fiber in there, should be pretty good. So yeah, we're going to be putting those in for breakfast. So that's kind of how I do it for meals. So when I go over lunches and so on, it'll kind of make sense when I put everything together, though. So, yeah. All right. So I checked up on these guys, and they look pretty good. I got to say, they look pretty fantastic. So I put them in at 117. It is now 157. So 40 minutes on 375. I would say. Go ahead and take these guys out of the oven real quick. I got one on a baking tray, one just kind of solo. So we're gonna. This is the final product. This looks immaculate. We got the tray out, like so. I'm gonna let these cool off for a little bit, but first, let's try one of these. Let's go ahead, give this guy a try. We're gonna do this one. There's some blueberry in there. It's pretty hot. Not as flavorful as I would expect it. Maybe I have to let it cool down some, but the texture's pretty good. It kind of tastes like it's got like the texture of a muffin.
Seems like shit.
But the blueberry makes it pretty good too. So, but like I said, this thing, one of these has 18 grams of fiber in it. So that's got to do with the sweetener I put in here. So, but yeah, I don't know. I gotta say these are pretty good. And this is hot. By the looks of it, I mean, this looks immaculate too. So, but I'm gonna drizzle some sugar-free syrup on here. I think that'll give it a lot better flavor profile too. But I'm gonna wait until it cools off before I do that. So, but yeah, that's pretty much it for the breakfast. So, I'll go over lunch with you guys here momentarily. Okay, so for lunch portions, we're not really cooking with anything because everything's just kind of prepackaged. We're just kind of throwing it together. So what I do have though is 3 different kinds of chicken. So they're deli slices. So we got normal deli chicken, we got chipotle chicken, we got buffalo style chicken. So those cold cuts, some I figured out too. I mean, you look at the macros on these. You got 60 calories with 10 grams of protein per serving, and there's about 4 servings, so we'll just say 4 in total. So just plain cold cuts like that will definitely help with your calorie deficit as well as your protein intake. And you got 3 different flavors: chipotle, normal, and buffalo. And then I got these barbell reduced fat cheese wheels. So there's 5 grams of protein per wheel with 50 calories per wheel as well. So I'm gonna be putting 2 of them in there. So that's 100 grams of protein right there. And then for vegetable, I got some baby carrots, like a third of this package. So what is it, 30 grams per serving. There's 5 carrots per serving. So also, carrots are great for fiber. And then the last thing, I have these Kind breakfast bars. I like these. They're pretty good. They're gluten-free. They're 210 calories per bar, which might be a lot, but, it is what it is. 30 grams of protein, which is not a lot, but they do got 3 grams of fiber in it, so it's more for the fiber. It also has some super grains in there, so it helps with adding a bunch of other vitamins that your body needs as well. But that's pretty much for lunch, though. Not really much to it. The lunch, I just want to keep it nice and simple. Just throw everything into a lunch bag and then just zoom on out. As we continue on with this, we also need to keep it very convenient. So just kind of throw it into the bag and get it out is the objective for at least this fitness journey. The return of the fitness journey, sorry. So I'll get back with you guys once I start making dinner. Ladies and gentlemen of the YouTube world, we are ready for dinner. Or dinner, if you didn't understand that. So, we are going to be making probably one of the most stereotypical, macro-friendly meal preps out there. It's a burrito bowl. It's a chicken burrito bowl. I mean, you can't really get much more uncreative than that. I mean, I say that, I don't mean to hate. Like, they're good and everything, and they're very convenient, and they're easy to make, and they got a lot of protein in it, and good macros and whatever, but it's like, literally everyone has this in their diet, somehow, some way. It's a chicken burrito bowl. So, we are going to be making it almost the most convenient way, because we're going to be cooking the rice, but everything else has been kind of put together or pre-cooked or whatever, so it's just going to be a bunch of cutting up and serving, a little bit of heating up. So you guys already met my friend Chef Ryan, the rice cooker. So we're going to be bringing him back for this marvelous adventure. So the first part, I'm going to put this in. Oh, okay, cool. The first part of this zina is we're going to be making some rice. So this is enriched long grain white rice. Cheapest thing I could find at Food Lion. So I got a little measuring cup here. We're gonna be filling this guy up. 80 grams. Something I didn't do in my last rice dish video was actually wash the rice. I think washing rice is a bit unnecessary. I don't think you have to do it. And people, when you wash rice, you do it like 5 to 7 times at least. I think that's just a lot of wasted water and time. So I'm just gonna take my starch-defied rice and just put it in there. Simple as that. Serving of rice, you want to double it in a liquid. In this case, chicken broth. So I'm not using water. So chicken broth or chicken stock. Chicken stock's gonna have more flavor in than water though. So we have, I don't want that hurt. So we got 80 grams of rice, 160 milligrams of chicken broth. And then we're just gonna pour it in like so. Bada bing, bada boom. Now you got yourself some chicken broth and rice. Now I don't know how much in detail I went into while making this rice per se. I think I just kind of threw everything together. But we're gonna take ourselves a fork and we're gonna kind of stir everything together like this. Again, I'm not washing my rice. Do I recommend to? If you want. I don't really see that much of a benefit to doing it. And honestly, I think it's just wasted time. Because I think you're just essentially just washing the starch off the rice. I think that's all you're really doing. So you can put this on, lock it in place. So you menu, and then make sure it's blinking for white rice. You can hit delay start. You can choose the different options as well. And then once it's hovering over white rice, you just hit start. And then you wait about, what, 35 minutes for it to be done. It takes forever to cook rice. But once we get back from that, I will be chopping up some vegetables and preparing our chicken. Coolio. So the next thing we're going to be doing is preparing our vegetable slash meat. So I have one bell pepper. I forgot what the Brits call them, but yeah, this guy. So, and I have these brand new knives I haven't used yet. Got a new knife set, so I'm very excited to try these. So, for one bowl each, I use one pepper. So, basically how I cut them is I just cut I call it the crown off, and you can reveal the stem itself. And then what I like doing is just kind of chopping around the crown, like so. And then obviously get rid of the stem. And then I like taking these and just chopping them up, dicing them up. Get yourselves a little plate just to kind of put everything in. So we're just gonna chop everything up. This thing is very sharp, by the way. It cuts everything like butter. I love it. I haven't had a good knife like this in a long time. And then basically when you're done dicing what you need, this is a rough dice, by the way. Just put everything to your plate. Now, how I chop a pepper is I usually do it, go like, I don't know, this deep, and then just slice it down. So basically what you're trying to do, you're almost like trying to take the flesh out of the pepper, and then you leave with the core like this. So that will be trash. And then it reveals yourselves with your pepper flesh. Now, this part of the pepper, this white part, that's pretty bitter. So you want to kind of carve that out if you can. And put that to a side. And essentially all I do So I cut it into strips. And then I take those strips and dice them up. Like so. Take these flesh over here. And essentially, I'll do that for the rest of the pepper, and then you got yourself some diced pepper. So I won't show you guys the rest of it because it'll be boring. So I'll come back when I get to the next vegetable. And your chopped peppers will look like this. You'll get these like real weird pieces with some of that bitter on it, like that. You could just put that to the side or throw it away, whatever your ladies and gentlemen's heart desire. Next thing we got is an onion or onion. Now I actually did not look at this onion, and it actually what the hell? Pretty petrifying. So I'm gonna use the other one instead. This one looks a little bit better. So how I cut an onion. So just cut the ponytail off like that. And then you get stuck with the root. That's pretty important to keep on because otherwise you'll still be crying. Chop it in half. Chop it in half again. Get rid of all this excess paper. Because I'm going to be using a quarter onion per recipe. Or per portion, sorry. Per recipe, what am I thinking? And then you have your onion quarters like so. And then what I like doing with one of the quarters, I'll take it, I'll trim the uppermost layer out because that's usually the gummiest. And then you get left with this. So when you do dice it, you want to slit going down like so. And then you can start dicing like this. And then you'll get yourself your marvelous diced onions. And then, you know, like Shrek says, onions have layers. So you'll have your compiled layer of diced onions like so. And then you can put them onto a paper. And then you can put them onto your plate without getting it everywhere. Come on. All right, there we go. All right. And then you could take your other onion quarters, put them in baggies, and you could save them for whatever you need next. So now we're going to the protein. So if you have chicken and you want to cook it, by all means. But I would probably recommend cooking the chicken after you start cooking the rice because it'll take a bit to kind of put together. But I do have this. So this is the Purdue pre-cooked fajita chicken. You don't have to do this, but I like to because I kind of like my portions all equally sized, if that makes sense. So when I have diced onions and peppers, I like to kind of have my chicken diced too because it all gets to about the same size as the rice. And then we're just gonna dice it up. Essentially what we're gonna do is you're just gonna take this guy, even if you diced it or you didn't dice it, and you're gonna give it the Chef Mike to cook for you. You guys don't know who Chef Mike is, it's a microwave. And I'd say about like a minute or so. But I'm gonna wait till the rice is done because we don't want cold chicken, you know, to put it back in the microwave. So, but that's pretty much all the preparation we're gonna have to do. And then basically the next step after that is assembling everything. So once we get there, I'll show you guys what I do when I assemble it. The rice has been completed and has been cooked. So Chef Ryan did his job. We're gonna go ahead and open this guy up. And just like that, without trying to spill it everywhere, you got ourselves some cooked rice in chicken broth. So we're gonna get this in closer. And we're gonna go, ooh, it's burnt on the bottom. Okay, you know what? Just means extra flavor, that's all. I've actually never cooked rice in chicken broth in this before, so we'll see how this goes though. So if you get a rice cooker, you should get a rice scooper with it as well. So we're just gonna finish this guy up. Sorry if I'm in the way, I need to get everything out here. All right, So we did that. Next, Chef Mike's preparation of the chicken. Now go into here. And of course I got the juices everywhere. So next, we got our veggies. We're gonna go ahead and try to do the same thing here, except for try not to make a mess. Try not to lose any rice grains or anything like that. Veggies into place. Now, just an FYI, you don't have to like do all these separate plates or anything. You can just kind of throw everything in a bowl, but I'm just trying to make it, you know, presentable. So next thing, well, interesting. The dairy I use for this is cottage cheese. So this is protein, 2% milk fat cottage cheese. So it's got 21 grams of protein for that little container, which is very interesting. So I'm gonna use a spoon to kind of scoop some dollops in here because it kind of spread out. And then when I move it around, I can, you know, or when I start around, it'll just kind of mix together. But for the time being, we're going to be placing some dollops in here. Like so. Just get all that out. Clean out the cottage cheese. If you don't like cottage cheese, then you could use like ricotta cheese would be pretty good. You could use low-fat cream cheese, low-fat sour cream, or you could use fat-free cheddar cheese. So, but for calorie per protein, cottage cheese is going to be your best bet. And then after that, pico de gallo. So I'm going to clean the spoon real quick. And then just like the cottage cheese, I'm going to take some dollops. Just toss it in here. Pico de gallo is really cool because it is a very low calorie side or topping, whatever you want to call it. So, again, these are just oh my god, I can't talk. These are just rough estimates because like pico de gallo, it's got 15 calories per serving, so it's not that much. And then we got lettuce. So if you you could buy a head of lettuce and cut it up yourself. Just cut it with around the same time you did with the veggies. So I like to take a handful of this stuff. This is iceberg lettuce, by the way. So if you're more of a romaine or a butter leaf or whatever, you know, do whatever your heart desires. But iceberg is the cheapest, so. By the way, this bag was like $3. Something ridiculous. But lettuce is good because it's a good fiber source, as well as it's a great filler. So, just keep that in mind. Last but not least, we have some Taco Bell sauce. This is the hot sauce. I had the Diablo sauce before, and I used it in my meals for last week. And I did not realize how spicy Diablo sauce is. Like, usually when I get it in the packets, it's not that bad. But, man, I put it in my meal. It was horrible. It was so spicy. Like, I still have the bottle here. Like, it's so spicy. So, we're going to go ahead. I'm going to bring this over to the table to go eat. And I'll give you guys the macros to solve for it. Man, let me tell you, this is a bowl of, or plate of food. Oh my goodness gracious. What is this, man? All this food is crazy. And you guys are not going to believe the macros on this either. So, we got the Bev, Diet Coke, of course. So, let's go ahead and dive into this. See how this tastes. Make sure we get everything in here. Now, yes, I will admit, if you can get this into a bowl, I would recommend doing that. Oh yeah. This is so hitting the spot. Oh my god. Goodness gracious. Alright. Now it's pretty biased because I made it. I get that. But I was looking forward to this all day. So let's go ahead and check out the macros. I forgot to mention too the macros for the lunch. I just named it random things for lunch. I have 573 calories with 54 grams of protein, 41 grams of carbs, 17 grams of fat, 4 grams of fiber, 16 grams of sugar, and 2,870 grams of sodium. So, I mean, all it really has is the chicken cold cut package thing, the cheese wheels, the oat bar, and then baby carrots. That's literally it. Now, the chicken fajita bowl, that's right, 834 calories for that giant bowl with 90 grams of protein, 96 grams of carbs, and 10 grams of fat. So very low fat. With 6 grams of fiber, 21 grams of sugar, a lot of it I believe comes from the pico de gallo, and 3,090 milligrams of sodium. So if you bought your own chicken and cooked it, that would dramatically drop. Maybe even under 1,000 milligrams, but it also depends on the seasonings. And the ingredient list, you got the chicken, low-fat cottage cheese, pico de gallo, bell pepper, sweet onion, enriched long grain white rice cooked with chicken stock, and then iceberg lettuce. One thing that's missing in here too is the the hot sauce, but that's pretty much 0 calories. So, but that's it. And then pretty much for the day with all 3 meals, we're looking at 1,917 calories with 187 grams of protein, 250 grams of carbs, 33 grams of fat, by the way, for everything, 28 grams of fiber, which is nuts, 52 grams of sugar, and then, yeah, we don't have to look at the sodium. That's like 7,000. So, again, a lot of these are going to have a lot of sodium in it. So, and then so far, today's a rest day for me. So, we have 6,000 steps. And this should, by the way, be like a lot. I don't know, maybe 24 plus 17. We'll just say 2 cups, a little bit over 2 cups. So yeah, 41 fluid ounces of water drink so far. But yeah. Okay, so the first thing we got for miscellaneous. Now, I love Bloom Energy, right? But they actually came out with these. It's like crisp apple flavor. I'm very interested in trying this. So once I do, I'll let you guys know how they taste because apple stuff's really good. And the fact that they came out with this was insane. So for these desserts, I actually found these like Ghosts cookie protein bar things. They do not have gluten in them, but they process with gluten. So for ones that are very sensitive to gluten, I would not recommend these. But I think for a small intolerance like for myself, I should be able to take these as long as it doesn't contain wheat. I should be fine. Each serving is 270 calories because there's 2 bars per package. And then we got 13 grams of fat, 22 grams of carbs with 20 grams of protein, but 8 grams of, I don't know if you guys could see that, but 8 grams of fiber too, which is a nice, decent size amount of fiber for these, which is very, very nice. And of course, we have the rest of the bevs here. We have the Diet Coke, which is pretty much my cocaine. See what I did there? Cocaine. Haha. And then we got Waterloos. So the best ways to cut soda but you need that carbonization is sparkling water because it does hydrate you and it's flavored water. But Waterloo I find to be the best brand for flavor. Stuff that doesn't taste too sweet but still flavorful. So I would recommend incorporating sparkling water into your diets if you decide to go on a fitness journey or weight loss journey, whatever. Now this, this is Sprite Zero, but it's the cranberry edition, the winter spice cranberry. I absolutely love this stuff, and the fact I made it zero sugar is actually great. So I'm gonna be trying that as well, and I'll get back to you guys once I, figure out how that tastes. But of course, zero means zero everything. Sparkling water, zero everything. Diet Coke, zero everything. I think except for sodium for all these, except for sparkling water, there's no sodium in that. And then of course we have the hydration. I like these Mios. There's berry blast and lemon lime. I have strawberry lemonade now, but hydration is very important to weight loss because it keeps you going, and hydration is great for your skin and so on and so forth. Although this is pretty much dye, but I like the flavor of it, so leave me alone. But that's pretty much it for the miscellaneous snacks and so on. So, yeah. Ladies and gentlemen of the YouTube world, that's pretty much it for what I eat in the day. It was supposed to be like a grocery haul video, but I will mention what I got, snacks, drinks, miscellaneous stuff as well. I actually have included desserts in there, so we'll be having for dessert. So on top of that, we also have the dessert, which was like 270 calories plus like 20 grams of protein. So we've hit over the 200 grams of protein, being a little bit over 2,100 calories. So, but yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it. I think this is going to be a great meal prep for me, and I'm actually looking very forward to it. So if you guys have any questions or about any kind of meal ideas or something, just put them down in the comments and I can see what I can come up with. So, but ladies and gentlemen of the YouTube world, thank you for tuning in. I very much appreciate every one of you because you're all very sexy to me, and I wish you a wonderful rest of your day. Please like, comment, subscribe, and share the video so we could spread the journey to whoever wants to be on the journey with me or with you or with us. Take care, guys. Peace.